I am sure you have all heard about the divine feminine and the divine masculine. This is terminology that has been on social media for a very, very long time now. And it's something that's important to me because the reason I'm here on this planet right now is to bring back the divine feminine. Hello, seekers of the truth. All of you spiritual, wonderful brothers and sisters, welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful for you. Thank you for joining me here today. I have been wanting to talk to you guys about this for a while, and the topic's been coming up over and over again with clients. And today I just decided time to discuss the subject. So I'm hoping I can give you all some information that will be helpful for you about this subject. And I want to talk about Christ consciousness and all of the aspects of it, which is why I'm here right now on this planet, and I chose to be here. I am wearing a headset today. You normally don't see me wearing one, but I'm wearing one because I've had several people tell me that they couldn't hear me talking, that I was too quiet or the video was too quiet. So I decided to don a headset today, and hopefully you can hear me all better. But anyways, so the divine feminine and the divine masculine, for those of you who don't know what that is, or it's questionable to you, or you're not sure, or even if you just want a little bit more explanation, I'm going to dive right on into that right now and talk to you about that. So I'm wearing here actually a representation of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So let me kind of explain this to you. So twin flames, I'm sure you heard that term before. I have another video on my page about twin flames. Yeshua Christ and Mary Magdalene were twin flames. And this cross right here, see if you can see that. That is called the Khmarg Cross, and that comes from the south of France. It was created in a village called Saint-Marie-sur-la-Mer, which is Saint Mary by the sea, and that village was named after Mary Magdalene because Mary Magdalene lived in a cave near that village for the rest of her life after Yeshua ascended into heaven. This one, of course, got my crucifix. I got this from my mother-in-law. It was a gift. It's a beautiful golden crucifix with, let's see, get it in front of the camera a little better. But anyways, so that represents Yeshua. So I've got Mary Magdalene represented here. And this Khmarg Cross, just to explain to you the background on that, it's an anchor. This is a fishing village in the south of France. And the anchor represents hope. And the heart represents love, and the cross is the faith. So it's faith, hope, and love, which are my three favorite subjects in life: faith, hope, and love. And I wear them both because it represents the divine to me. What it represents to me and what's important to me is the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. So what a lot of people don't understand is that the what we call the Draco Cabal, the controllers who have been manipulating this planet for 12,000 years, back 2,000 years ago when they invented the religion of Christianity, and then before that when they invented the religion of Judaism, and then also they invented the religion of Islam. All those religions were all invented by these mind controllers. They basically pounded it into humanity's heads that God is a man who sits on a throne, that Christ consciousness or Christ is all about masculine patriarchy. It was all patriarchal. And they basically removed all of the feminine goddess energy. And for many thousands of years, a lot of civilizations, whether it was ancient Greeks, ancient Romans, ancient Mesopotamia, ancient Hindu, ancient Buddhism, there were always goddesses. In fact, there were equal amounts of goddesses to gods, because you have to have a balance. You have to have a masculine and a feminine balance in everything. Just like you have to have day and night, light and dark, and it all needs to come into balance. And so it's important to understand that the feminine, what we call the divine feminine, and the divine feminine is what we call also the Sophia part of God. So there's Father God, which is Abba, and there's Mother God, which is the Sophia. And the Sophia part of God, which is that nurturing, loving part of God, was completely stripped away and removed from all the records, a lot of the biblical teaching. It's referred to in ancient Judaism, and it's referred to in a few texts, but it's not in your face, all over the place. They've mostly removed these things so that people don't understand or don't know about it or don't have any idea about it. And that's because this whole world has been dominated by this patriarchy that has created war and strife and suffering and poverty and a controlled economy, controlled education system. All of the systems we've been living in have been all lies, and they've all been controlled by a patriarchy. So I came here, I chose to incarnate into this human body, just like thousands of my brothers and sisters have, people that we call light workers or way showers or earth angels or indigos or star seeds, and maybe even all of you who are watching this now. And in fact, chances are, if you're watching this right now, it's because you chose to come here for the Great Awakening, and you chose to come here for this ascension that we're going through. So a lot of you, in your heart space, and in your soul, and in your inner being, your higher self that has existed forever, that there is this balance of divine, masculine, and feminine, but your human brain has been brainwashed and mind controlled to only see everything from a masculine, patriarchal point of view. And all of you have all come here just like I have. I'm not special. I'm just a human, and I'm just here to help the planet and serve. But all of you have also chosen to come here to bring back in this divine feminine as well. I'm not the only one. I have thousands of you brothers and sisters out there who have chosen to come here, and not just women. It isn't just women who have chosen to come in and bring in the divine feminine. I've met a lot of men who have also are carrying that chore or task of bringing in the divine feminine, because these are men that are very balanced. There's a lot of men who have a really good balance of divine feminine and divine masculine. So Christ consciousness, Christ is not just the only Christ. So Yeshua was a Christed being. And the Christ consciousness is a consciousness of love and compassion and forgiveness and kindness and godliness and all the good things. But it is a full consciousness, and there are members of what we call Christ consciousness that are not just Yeshua. He is one of many. He's got the Buddha is a member of Christ consciousness. There's the Maitreya, Sananda, El Morya, Serapis Bey. There's a whole bunch of them. There's just a whole list. Saint Germain is considered part of that. There's a whole bunch of ascended masters. Those are the male part of Christ consciousness. Those are all beings who were Christed beings who came to earth at one point. I think Yogananda, what is his name? I forgot his name, but it's Yogananda. Somebody, one of you guys will message me or comment on the comments what his name, his full name is, but it was Yogananda. He was a divine master who also came here. He might have even been part of Christ consciousness. I'm not 100% sure, but there's a lot of these masters who walk the earth who were Christed masters that are part of the male side of Christ consciousness. Then you have what we call the female side of Christ consciousness. That's why I have these two. It has to be in balance. You have a feminine side, a female side. So what is the feminine side of Christ consciousness? The feminine side of Christ consciousness is Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Some of the beautiful female saints like Joan of Arc. There was Saint Catherine. There was trying to think of some of the ones that I really, really love. Santa Lucia. There's a whole bunch of them that kind of make up that Christed feminine side. You've got Isis, Hathor, Green Tara from the Buddhist tradition, which is the feminine side of God in the Buddhist tradition, the feminine side of the Buddha and of God. You've got I'm trying to think here. There's Lakshmi, who's one of my favorite masters or goddesses from the Hindu tradition, and she's part of Christ consciousness. There's White Buffalo Calf Woman, who's a Native American saint and master and Christed one who walked the earth. And there's many more. Those are just some of the beings. There's a whole bunch of extraterrestrials. Those are just the ones who walk the earth. And you need to understand, too, that Christ is the cosmic Christ. It's not just about Earth. We're not this little self-centered, narcissistic planet. There's a whole bunch of other planets, millions of them out in space that have sentient beings living on them. And Christ consciousness also blankets over those beings as well. So you have ETs that are part of Christ consciousness. There are star, and I don't even like to call them ETs because we're ETs to them. They're ETs to us. It doesn't matter. They're basically our star brothers and sisters. That's who they are. And Christ consciousness has a dominion. There's a dominion of it over all life and space and time and dimension. So Christ consciousness is in the past, it's in the present, it's in the future, it's across all planets, all galaxies, all star systems, and it's made up of these amazing Christed beings that are balanced in the divine feminine and the divine masculine. On planet Earth, this was a third density planet that was created as a classroom so we can all come here to learn. And it was supposed to go to a fifth density planet and ascend thousands of years ago, but then the Luciferian Rebellion happened. I've talked about that in other videos. We have the Luciferian Rebellion, and that happened. And when Lucifer came here and teamed up with Satan, Caligastia, Moloch, and Baal, which are all the demonic extraterrestrials, when he teamed up with them to take over the planet, they created a lot of chaos. They put the planet into a lockdown. They brought in what we call the Draco reptilians. And those guys came in, I want to say about 12,000, it was anywhere from 10 to 12,000 years ago. Everybody debates the time, but it doesn't matter. It's 10 to 12,000 years. They came in and they put this planet into lockdown. And the divine feminine, they worked on removing it continuously, and they worked really, really hard. The planet was stopped from ascending. It was prevented from going from the third density to the fifth density. Thousands of years ago, they prevented that from happening. So now that we've broken free from the matrix has been removed. Hallelujah. Thank God. Praise God. No more matrix grid lockdown. Souls are free to come and go as they please, which is amazing. And I'm so joyful for that. And all of us starseeds and indigos and light workers and earth angels have come here to liberate all the human souls, because there are actual human souls who've only been on earth forever. And we are bringing back the feminine Christ consciousness and the masculine Christ consciousness. Of course, Christ is returning through us, but the feminine side is the most important. And why is it the most important? Because the feminine side is love and compassion and kindness and forgiveness and nurturing. All of these things that have been stripped away. When you have war and suffering and abuse and neglect and narcissism and sociopaths and all these terrible things that are on this planet, all this evil and all this darkness, that's not the nurturing divine feminine consciousness. That's all fear. It's fear, fear, fear. Divine feminine is 100% love. It's all love-based. There is no fear. There's no suffering. There's no poverty. There's no starvation. There's none of that, because when you're a mama, When you are Mama God, the Mama part of God, the Sophia, you don't want your children to suffer. God is not a God who wants people to suffer. There are so many people on this planet that have been taught by their religions that God blows up cities and wants you to sacrifice your child and will strike you dead and will send you to hell and on and on and on and on. That's not what God is. God is unconditional love. Both the feminine and the masculine side of God is unconditional love. The feminine side is the more nurturing, compassionate side of God. The masculine is the more kind of analytical, side that manages and puts everything together and, does that kind of thing. The feminine side is the more creative side. The masculine is the more left brain, analytical side, you can say, of God. And so we are bringing this back now, and everything is going to be in balance. The world has been out of balance. It's been about 80% evil and 20% good for a really long time. We are bringing it back into balance. It's going to be hopefully 80% good and 20% evil. You need a little bit of that darkness in there so you can learn your lessons, because this is not heaven. We would never leave heaven. I've spoken to you guys all about this many times over, that if earth was this perfect heaven, you would not need to leave the actual heaven. That is our home. Heaven's our home. And the reason we come here to earth is to learn lessons. This is a big classroom. And you cannot learn those lessons if everything is really easy and wonderful and beautiful and perfect. So you got to have a little bit of a challenge there, a little bit of difficulty, a little bit of darkness. But the planet has been out of balance for a really, 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 really long time. It's been mostly bad and just a little bit of good. And so we are bringing in this feminine Christ consciousness, and we're also bringing Yeshua back in the form of his, consciousness, and the Buddha and all these individuals. And we are going to be balancing this now. So our future, after the December 21st big event happens, which the Earth shifts, the galaxy shifts, everything. I had a vision. I had like one of my little future visions. Basically, I saw all these planets rolling into location, kind of like a combo lock. I saw all the planets lining up like a combination lock with all these round little planets. And then at the end of it was this big rectangular shaped portal that opens up like a door. It's like literally a giant door in the universe that opens up, and in comes this blast of this beautiful, unconditional, loving light from God's source, from the central sun of everything. And it's going to fill our universe. Now, it's not going to be what they call the Great Solar Flash. The Great Solar Flash, humanity is not ready for that. If the Great Solar Flash were to hit the planet today, we would all die because our bodies would not be able, we just wouldn't be ready for it. And that's for another video, because that's a whole other can of worms to talk about. But the event on the 21st is going to be big. It's supposedly going to be a big red pill for the whole planet. And people will be waking up like crazy. You don't have anything to fear. There's nothing to fear. The only people who are leaving here are people committing crimes against humanity, people who are killers and murderers and rapists and pedophiles and all the evil bleeber heads that we want to get off our planet and never come back again. They're going to be going, okay? If you are a good, decent human being, if you are a loving human being, you're going to be staying right here. It doesn't matter if you're awake, doesn't matter if you're asleep. If you have a husband and kids like I do, who my husband and kids are asleep, but you know what? They are loving, wonderful, good people. They're really good people. So they're going to stay here with us. We're going to create this amazing heaven on earth. The only difference between the people who are asleep and the people who are awake is when the people wake up, who are waiting till the last second to wake up, they're going to be a little bit shocked and a little bit confused. And all of us awake people are going to take them and hold them by the hand and say, there, little baby, you're going to be okay. And we're going to help them through this whole situation, okay? So there's nothing to fear, no fear at all. It's just going to be a little bit more difficult for them. They're not going anywhere. They're not getting kicked off the planet. If they do leave through death, they like have a heart attack and die because the truth is just too much for them. Their soul chose to do that. That was something they arranged in their contract. Before they came to Earth, they arranged to do that. So that's not something you or I have any control over. Do not worry about that. Do not fear. If you have a family member who's really, really, really old and really stubborn and you know that they just aren't going to put up with any of this, chances are they may be leaving here. And, the cool thing about this is that on Earth, we have this time, it's beginning, middle, end. We have time on Earth. Outside of the Earth, there's no time. Okay. In the quantum field, there's no time. In heaven, there's no time. So even though the people here suffer when their loved ones leave, on the other side, the people who are there, the time between when they die and when you get reunited with these people again, when you die, to them, it's like a blink of an eye. It's like you were just gone. You were just separated for like literally a day at the most, maybe even an hour, maybe even a minute. I mean, it's literally the blink of an eye. It's like you weren't even separated at all. So for you, it may be difficult to miss an aunt or uncle who can't handle the trauma of finding out that all the financial systems are a lie, all the governments are a lie, they govern your mind. All of the religions were created to control humanity, and they were all made up. And the Bible was re-edited hundreds of times by different people to manipulate and mind control people. When they find all these things out, they're going to be really shocked and really scared. Some of these old, kind of stuck in the old ways people, and they may or may not be able to handle it. So word of warning, you could have a little old grandma lady who decides to leave because it's just too much for her. And that's, even though that's sad and it's really traumatic for the family, just understand that not only are they going to be going to a good place or going to heaven, they're not going to some bad place. They're not going to some dark planet. They're going home. We're not from here. This is not our home. So they're going home. Okay. You will live your life on. And when you rejoin your grandma or whoever leaves, it will literally be like you were never apart. Okay. And so just be aware of that. Don't worry about it. Don't focus on that. You need to focus on living your best life. You need to focus on what future do you want to create here on Earth. You want to focus on basically manifesting, because as the energies are changing here on Earth, we're able to quickly manifest more and more and more. We're quickly manifesting everything that we want, our future. And when everything switches over to the fifth density, we're going to be literally instantly manifesting. So you need to really focus on what kind of a life on Earth do you want to create? What kind of a world do you want to create? Taking care of your body, loving on yourself, loving on your family, taking care of your husband or wife or children or grandchildren, aunts, uncles, whoever, just taking care of your family, taking care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Connecting with God every day. It is so important to sit in prayer and meditation, or, one or the other or both. Prayer is actually a form of meditation. There's 108 types of meditation. I've spoken about that over and over again, and prayer is one of those forms. So meditating, quieting your mind, be still and know I am. It's a famous phrase from the Bible. Be still and know I am God. And I am is one of God's names, and that's basically all about quieting your mind. So quiet your mind every day. Talk to God, ask him questions, ask him to lead you. And I shouldn't say him, it's him, her, it. God is, God is everything. God is I am. Ask Source, God, to guide you on your journey every day, and focus on that. And remember that we are bringing in the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And the divine feminine is going to be this love and this nurturing and this compassion and kindness that our world has been missing for such a long time. And when this comes back with a big rush, there will not be wars anymore. There will not be starvation and suffering and evil and pedophilia and all these horrible, atrocious things that we've had to put up with for 12,000 years. None of this stuff is going to, and even beyond that, if you go back to when Lucifer first came here to Earth and put Satan in charge of the planet, and they just started destroying humanity, because And anybody who knows anything about Satan knows that he is not only the destroyer, but he has a one goal, and that is to destroy God's creation. He is anti-God. And I'm probably going to actually do another video here today about the Antichrist and what that's all about. So make sure that you check out my next video where I'm going to be talking about what the Antichrist actually is, because that's an important subject to cover. So anyways, I hope this was helpful for you all today. I just really wanted to talk to you about divine feminine and what that means, and the fact that we are bringing this back to Earth now for the first time in a long time in history, and the Earth has been missing this for so long. That Mother Mary, that Mary Magdalene, that Isis, white buffalo calf woman energy that's part of Christ consciousness. And then, of course, Christ himself, he's been here. And for those of you who know me and have spoken to me recently, you know that when I talk to him every day, he always laughs about the fact that humans keep asking, when is he coming back? He literally laughs. And the reason he laughs is because he's already been here for quite a while. He's been working with all of the different light workers who can see him, all the psychics. There's a lot of Christians, so many Christians. I mean, even if you go to a lot of churches, you'll see people who talk about how Christ appeared in their living room and was talking to them. I have so many Christian friends all over the world who've had experiences with him where he's appeared in their living room. I've heard of Muslims who Christ appeared to 50 of them in a mosque, and now they've all converted to Christianity. This happens all over the world all the time. He's actually been doing this. He's been here for a very long time, and he's been working with us. We're like the ground troops. He cannot come back in a human form. The reason he cannot come back in a human form is because he will be killed, okay? You've got these evil demons and cabal that are here on the planet, and if Christ were to be in a physical body, a human body, these human bodies are puny little things, they get hurt, they get injured, they get cut, they bleed. Think about that, honestly. If you put somebody like him in a human body, last time he was in a human body, how did that end up? They crucified him, right? So they would just do it again, and it would be even maybe more gruesome. Who knows? Because they're very evil. So the good news is he's already here. He's here in his spirit form, which is what he said when he left before he ascended into heaven. He told all his apostles that he will be here in their heart, that he is with you, His spirit is with us, the Holy Spirit. It's inside of us. It's in our heart. So a little piece of him is already here. And then he's here in spirit form, guiding the troops, as I call them. And the troops meaning us, the indigos, the light workers, the starseeds, the earth angels, who've all come here to liberate the planet. And all the Christian, even the Christian humans who he appears to on a daily basis and talks to them and gives them healing messages and amazing work that he does with these people. So he's already here. Stop asking, when is he coming back? He's been here for quite a while. And every time you ask, when is he coming back, he literally rolls his eyes. Okay. So don't do it. He is here. Ask him to come talk to you. He told me that he talks to everybody, okay? I'm not special. My friends aren't special. You need to be open to it. How do you be open to a visit from Christ? Is you ask him to come visit you. You ask him to talk to you. You ask Mary Magdalene. You ask Mother Mary. You call upon them and you ask them to come and speak to you. You quiet your mind daily. You learn how to practice mindfulness, staying in the present moment so that your thoughts can be quiet enough so you can hear God speak to you. Because God speaks to all of us. Christ speaks to all of us. Mother Mary speaks to all of us. Mary Magdalene, all of these beings, and even your guardian angels try to speak to you. But you cannot hear them because your mind is busy with the crazy lifestyle that we all lead, okay? You got your cell phones and your job and your kids and your financial situation and food and this and that, and there's so many different things that you have, and your mind is just going all the time. The only way you're going to hear God and you're going to hear Christ and you're going to get to meet him and see him and actually visually see him is you need to open your third eye, which is your pineal gland. And I have a pineal detox that I send everybody who's interested in it. I have a 3-page pineal detox, but you decalcify your pineal that the cabal has calcified with the V word and the chemtrails. I'm not going to say the V word on video because then they'll close my channel down, but you know all what the V word is. They stick them into people with little needles. They give us those. They do the chemtrails. They do the fluoride in the water. They do the toxic food supply, just everything. Calcify our pineal so that we can't hear God. We can't see God. We cannot connect with God. Decalcify your pineal gland. Sit quietly. Be mindful. Breathe. Just breathe. Meditate every day. Talk to God. Ask God to come to you and to give you answers and to guide you in your life. Every morning when you wake up, ask for guidance. Just ask. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, there are parts of the Bible that are 100% accurate and true. And there are parts of the Bible that have been messed with, okay, to mind control people. The majority of the Bible is good. I call it basic instructions before leaving Earth because it's basically allegories and parables teaching you how to be a good person and how to get into heaven, basically, how to find the kingdom of heaven. It's basically teaching you how to be a decent human being. So everybody should read the Bible just from that perspective, just so they can learn all of these stories and lessons on how to be a decent human being and how to love one another and how to be kind and compassionate. That's so important. But the most important thing is we are ascending. We are bringing the feminine, loving energy back. And I am so grateful to be here with you all right now in this life. I'm so grateful to be here in this body and to be here now, living this life during this exciting time of Ascension. I'm so excited for this whole Ascension and the waking up, the Great Awakening. And I'm just honored to be here and to teach you all and to help you and to guide you on your journey. So if you need any personal guidance, please connect with me through my website, spiritualgrowthjourneys.com. It'll be in the description on the video. If you want a copy of my book, Ascension 101, A Roadmap for Your Soul, which is a complete guide to everything you need to know, like who is God, who are you, how to be happy the rest of your life, why you get sick, why people die early, how to talk to God and your angels, just every basic spiritual concept you could possibly think of, how to raise your vibration, how to protect your energy from negative energy vampires. All of the basic important things that you need to do on your journey are in that guidebook. If you don't have a copy of it, it's available on Amazon worldwide. It doesn't matter. I think it's pretty much every country in the world. Just go to Amazon and it's called Ascension 101, A Roadmap for Your Soul, by me, Kimberly Palm. Just Google that, or you could even go onto Amazon and put in under authors my name and 2 books will come up and one of them is that book. So if you don't have that, get a copy. If you want to connect with me, you can contact me through my website for a private session. And I'm honored to help you on your journey and guide you. And as I always tell people, I am not a guru. The only guru is Yeshua and all of the ascended masters. I'm just a teacher and I'm just a message bringer. I just give messages and I'm a teacher and I'm a counselor, teacher. That's about it. And most of all, a human girl right now, at least temporarily until I leave, just like you. So thank you so much thank you for joining me here, and I will see you on the next video. Oh, and also please like this so it'll be more visible to other people. Subscribe to my channel and share with anybody that you think this would be valuable for. Thank you.